Well, the tropics are very busy tonight. We have one powerful hurricane, it's Isidore, and two potential hurricanes in the Atlantic Ocean. More on that in just a moment. First, the latest on Isidore, a strong Category 3 hurricane, possibly even Category 4, but the official sustained maximum winds are 125 miles per hour. The movement is still slowly to the west at 6 miles per hour. The pressure, 946 millibars, and if you're following the storm along with us, 22.2 north, 86.7 west, 45 miles northeast of Cabo Catoche, Mexico, which is a point on the northeasternmost edge of the Yucatan Peninsula. While hurricane force winds extend out 35 miles from the center of circulation, tropical storm force winds as much as 200 miles out from the eye of Hurricane Isidore, so possibly impacting the northeastern Yucatan and certainly possibly the extreme western part of Cuba, where, by the way, tropical storm warnings remain in place and another 10 to 15 inches of rain could fall overnight. Latest on Isidore, well, one thing we've been watching take place over the last couple of hours is the development, and I apologize for this last frame. We've had a bit of a data drop out here, but you'll notice a very distinct eye developing in the last couple of satellite views. And also, one other thing you're going to notice is a bit of a change in direction, a bit of a wobble towards the southwest. So folks on the northern tip of the Yucatan Peninsula really need to watch the progress of Isidore extremely closely. Now, Hurricane Hunter reconnaissance aircraft will be coming down to investigate the system later on tonight. We should get some more information on that probably after 2 o'clock in the morning or so Eastern time. But looking at the satellite view, it would appear that Isidore might even be a Category 4 hurricane at this point, with top sustained winds above 131 miles per hour. In any event, Category 3 or 4, it's a formidable system. We'll have to keep an eye on it as it moves basically to the west or west-southwest the next couple of days. After Tuesday, the track, very uncertain. It's possible it could go west or west-southwest onto the coast of Mexico. And it's possible it could take a jog to the north as high pressure builds in the western Atlantic and the eastern United States, and the steering currents become more favorable for a turn towards the northwest, towards the coast of Texas and Louisiana. Just remains to be seen. The best thing for you to do, of course, is just to monitor that situation closely and start thinking about how you're going to prepare should Isidore take that turn towards the northwest. Other systems we're watching, subtropical storm Kyle out here east of Bermuda. Conditions are favorable for Kyle perhaps to strengthen into a hurricane, as may be the case for Tropical Depression 13. 890 miles east-southeast of the Lesser Antilles. Top sustained winds are 35, 1,006 millibars. This system is expected to become Tropical Storm Lili overnight, and within 72 hours, as it approaches the Lesser Antilles, Hurricane Lili with winds of 80 knots or stronger. Meanwhile, the Eastern Pacific, very quiet. Western Pacific, fairly tranquil at this time as well. We'll be right back.
Sinus suffering. It starts with a first sign, but symptoms can worsen as the day goes on. So take Sudafed 12-hour at the first sign. Non-drowsy Sudafed 12-hour releases sinus pressure and keeps it from coming back for up to a full 12 hours.
Now the first sign of pressure is my last all day.
Take Sudafed 12-hour at the first sign.
And for nighttime sinus relief, try Sudafed Sinus Nighttime.
There's only 5 of us and 6 of them.
Dude, we're gonna need your mom.
Tombstone 6-pack mini deep dish pizzas. Some moms just get it.
What do you want on your tombstone?
Happy birthday to you.
These party animals eat Science Diet with a superior antioxidant formula. It's developed to help keep them younger longer. How do I know? I'm their vet. Science Diet for the lifelong health of your pet.
buddy.
This is the 4 o'clock central coordinates that have come in, and our hurricane expert, Dr. Steve Lyons, is busy poring over all the forecast data and will be with us at 50 past the hour, so stay tuned for that. Well, here's a look at the latest coming in on Hurricane Isidore, and you can see the hurricane here near the Yucatan Peninsula. Maximum sustained winds at 125 miles per hour. A very powerful hurricane. It's a major hurricane, but it is forecast to increase in intensity further than this. Very low minimal central pressure at 936 millibars, and with such a low pressure, further strengthening is expected and is likely. Some forecast models in the official forecast track and forecast intensity coming from the National Hurricane Center increases the winds to about 150 miles an hour once it's back out into the Gulf. Now, we do have hurricane warnings in effect, and these now have been extended to include Campeche, Mexico. So these are new here as Isidore continues to move off to the west. We still have the tropical storm warnings, and not a lot of wind left with these, but still the torrential rain coming down. Slowly that is going to be ending, so improving conditions across Cuba. Well, here's a look at a close-up shot of Isidore, and you can see it continuing to just grind its way through the Gulf. And there's a look at that eye. Now here is a shot of the latest forecast track. This is brand new. A few differences showing up. Over the next 24 hours, it's expected that the center of Isidore will begin to move a little bit to the southwest, may possibly cross over land on the northern tip of the Yucatan Peninsula. Even if the center would stay offshore, part of that eye wall may brush up against it, and that's where the strongest of the winds are. So definitely strong winds coming in across this region. Now through Wednesday morning, again, more of a westward and perhaps a little bit of a northwestern jog to this hurricane. So again, after Wednesday morning, there are several variables that will play into this. And so beyond that time, the forecast certainty diminishes greatly. So this is what we can tell you in the near term. And also I'll tell you to stay tuned as we head through the week. So that is definitely going to be something we are watching very, very carefully. And as we take a look a little bit farther out into the Atlantic, we want to show you, if we can, there we go, our subtropical storm Kyle. That's right there, still a subtropical storm. We have been seeing flare-ups of convection, but nothing that has wrapped around the center of circulation. And there it is right there. Now we also have been noting right here, this is a new tropical depression, and if this would become a storm, it would be Lili, and it is forecast to become a tropical storm. The conditions around Lili do remain favorable for further growth and further development. So again, this may be our next tropical storm. At this point, it is a tropical depression. Okay. Now here's a look at the coast of Africa. More convection continuing to move on, and they're just about off the screen. We do see our tropical depression moving on to the west, still a couple of days away from bringing a downward turn to our weather coming into the islands. Looking at the Pacific, we are noting a few clusters of thunderstorms south of Acapulco, but no imminent development within those. Back to the lower 48, and we are seeing light rain in Chicago, heavy rain from Birmingham to Atlanta, and the threat for severe weather this afternoon and this evening in Pittsburgh. There's that heavy rain. We do have flash flood warnings in effect. Randolph County in Alabama, one area that's already picked up a Doppler radar estimated 4 inches of rain. You could be seeing another 3 inches of rain across your area, so be careful of the floodwaters that you may be seeing develop there. Cool air coming in as we head through your early morning hours in the upper Midwest. It doesn't warm up a lot, in the 50s in Minneapolis. We'll have more in a moment.
In the 90 years LL Bean has sold outdoor clothing and gear, competitors have come and gone. Many have tried, but none have matched our dedication to quality and service. As others fold or merge, LL Bean remains family-owned and true to doing things right. Today, our commitment to quality products, service, and our guarantee assures you'll always be 100% satisfied. You have our word on it. Call today for our free catalog.
Cold feet never got anybody anywhere. At AIG, we believe the greatest risk is not taking one.
Breaking news from Midas, America's trusted leader in brakes. Right now, get guaranteed lifetime brake pads or shoes for just $39.95 at Midas, and you'll never have to buy brakes again for as long as you own your car. So how do you find the time to repair your brakes without stopping your life? The answer is Midas, for fast, reliable brake service. Hurry into Midas today for lifetime brakes, guaranteed. Next stop, Midas.
Hello again and welcome back. Time now for the Tropical Update. Bill Keneally with you, and Dr. Steve Lyons joining us now. And Steve, it looks like Hurricane Isidore not weakening whatsoever, even with that close proximity to the Mexican coast. What can we expect if it starts to lose that influence of that land area?
We should see some strengthening, and the coastline, the way it's oriented, looks like the eye is moving just offshore a little bit more, and it looks like it's strengthening. We could see it go to Category 4 quickly. Let's look at the large-scale tropical Atlantic. We have, of course, our powerful Category 3 Hurricane Isidore over here just off the Yucatan Peninsula. Weak low-pressure system off the Florida coast we're not too concerned about. A subtropical storm Kyle up here that's spinning around and will remain roughly stationary for a few days, could strengthen into a tropical system. This is our Tropical Depression 13 that is forecast to become a storm and then a hurricane and affect the northern islands. I'll show you that in a second. And another low-pressure system off the African coast. Let's start with our hurricane as of 10 a.m. Central Daylight Time. Winds 125 miles per hour. That's a strong Category 3 hurricane, moving to west-southwest at 8, and it looks like now it's taking a little more of a due west track. Pressure all the way down to 934 millibars. Hurricane warnings up for the northern tip of the Yucatan Peninsula right now. And there you can see the circulation. And look at that well-defined eye that just formed as soon as the system comes just a little bit offshore of the coastline. We expect that to continue on a west or maybe west-southwest track. It's still possible it could clip the extreme northwestern coast of the Yucatan. But right now we expect it to move slowly but steadily into the northern edge of the Bay of Campeche over the next 72 hours. Now here you can see it relative to the U.S. coastline. It's not an immediate direct threat to the United States. However, it could be down the road well beyond 72 hours. But an indirect threat is high surf, and it's going to be coming up as the system, especially as the system moves farther away from land, and that surf will be in northern Mexico highest, Texas and Louisiana, but surf could be up in the Florida Panhandle as well, so be very cognizant of that. Dangerous rip currents will accompany that high surf. Now here's our projected path, and it could deviate from this, but by the time we get out to about 72 hours Wednesday morning, we could see it start to take a little bit of a turn more toward the west-northwest. And if that happens, then there would be a little more threat to the U.S. coastline, particularly Texas and Louisiana at this stage because of its proximity to those two states. Here's Tropical Depression 13 as of 11 a.m., 35 miles per hour, moving quickly to the west at 23 miles per hour. It continues to show signs of a little better organization indicating it's heading toward tropical storm strength. Currently, the stronger winds are on the north side of the circulation. So as it moves up this way and strengthens, the north side of the track is the one to watch relative to winds, and it's heading in the general direction, we think, of the northern Antilles and Puerto Rico over the next 24 to 36 hours. Looking at the hurricane here off the Yucatan, we see nothing in the eastern Pacific forming, but some of the moisture is moving onshore there and producing some flooding rains in Central America, as well as Cuba and the Cayman Islands as well. Bill?
All right, Steve, thanks a lot. The Weather Channel, not the only organization watching Isidore closely. The Red Cross has set up chapters on much of the Gulf Coast, and they're all on alert. The Red Cross has thousands of volunteers already in position. They're ready to be called up at a moment's notice. Supply warehouses in Atlanta and San Antonio are on standby, and over 200 shelter teams are on alert and ready to go if they are needed. And if you live on the Gulf Coast or nearby and are looking for hurricane preparedness tips, please by all means log on to www.redcross.org. All right, let's check out what's happening stateside. And I got to tell you, there's another pretty serious episode of weather going on in Alabama right now. Flooding rain here, upwards of 3 to 7 inches of rainfall showing up anywhere from Birmingham over to Anniston on I-10, or I-20, I should say. and then running south into Montgomery along I-65. That is a very serious situation. Many flood warnings out. It is not a fun day for driving from Atlanta down to Montgomery. Watch that rain dropping southward.
This program was brought to you by Goodyear, reminding you to take all your journeys on the wings of Goodyear.
Right now, when you buy 4 selected Goodyear tires, you'll get a $50 U.S. savings bond. But you better hurry. This offer is going fast. Call 1-800-GOODYEAR for a store near you, or visit a participating retailer where Goodyear tires are sold.
Call 1-800-GOODYEAR or visit GoodyearTires.com for the retailer nearest you.
Introducing the totally transformed 2003 Corolla S. With greater performance, it just wants to have fun.
Is this how you trim your lawn? Or is this your method? Why hassle with trimmer spools that tangle, jam, and never work? Make your life easier with the Weed Thrasher, the revolutionary new system specifically designed for your gas-powered trimmer. With the Weed Thrasher's monster cutters, you can trim around rocks, right next to sidewalks, and even up against fences. Ordinary trimmer spools jam. The nylon twine wears down to nubs in no time. And that tangled line is a frustrating hassle. Or worse yet, those expensive plastic cutting blades can break and shatter. But Weed Thrasher's monster cutters are 10 times thicker than ordinary trimming lines. They can't tangle. They're tougher. They last a lot longer and replace.
Good Sunday afternoon, everyone. Meteorologist Ryan Gosser with you here on the Weather Channel. 10 minutes to the top of the hour. That means it's time to take a look at the tropical update. A lot to tell you about, not only with Hurricane Isidore, which is a strong Category 3 storm down in the Gulf of Mexico, but also a lot of activity out in the Atlantic as well. And for the very latest, we go to our expert desk with our hurricane expert, Dr. Steve Lyons. Dr. Lyons?
Thanks, Ryan. And we're monitoring a landfall in Category 3 in the Yucatan Peninsula. It's wreaking havoc on the northeast and northwest coast of that particular area. Let's look at the large-scale picture of the tropics. I'll show you where that is. There's our hurricane out here. Our subtropical storm has now become tropical storm, Kyle. We're monitoring that, but it's remaining stationary or relatively stationary out in the central Atlantic. And this low pressure center is forecast to become a tropical storm as it moves toward the islands and watches up for those northern islands. I'll show you that in just a second. Now here's the latest view of our hurricane. You can see it's made landfall over the northwestern portions of the Yucatan. Merida's off here to the west, and it's going to be into the western eye wall very shortly. So very strong winds, very heavy rain, and it doesn't look like the system is going to pull to the west very quickly. Currently, it is moving almost due south, at least on the last few satellite images. We expect it to take a turn more toward the southwest very slowly. But heavy rain and very strong winds and high seas are impacting that coastline right now. Now, here are the latest information. 125 miles per hour, moving to the west at 8. Well, it's right now temporarily moving to the south at about 5. Pressure is rising slowly as it moves over land, but was 934 millibars before hitting land. You see the hurricane warnings up along the north coast. The primary area of strongest winds is relatively close to the center and primarily on the north and west sides of the circulation. Down there near Cancun and Cozumel, you'll expect tropical storm-like conditions. Now, the waves are very high near the coast, but we expect those to come on up and move toward the United States. That's going to be the first impact from Isidore to the United States as the high surf beginning sometime tomorrow morning and increasing steadily over the next several days. Now, our projected path has been consistently toward the west or west-southwest, then turning a little bit more. The more recent guidance has it turning much more abruptly through 72 hours toward the north. Now, the interesting thing is now that it's not currently moving to the west, but moving to the south, this track may have to be adjusted even further so that if it does move to the north, it may move to the north more abruptly in the central Gulf of Mexico. We'll have to advise you on that a little later as things unfold. Showers also all across the northwestern portions of the Caribbean Sea, upper level low off the Bahamas, not showing any signs of tropical development there. Now, Tropical Depression 13 is forecast to become a storm currently 35 miles per hour and primarily on the north side, not on the south side of the circulation, moving to the west at 23 miles per hour, very fast clip. Here you see the islands. Here's our tropical depression forecast to become a storm, and because of that, we do have a projected path that covers basically central and northern Antilles and up toward Puerto Rico and the extreme eastern portions of Hispaniola, and a tropical storm watch-up for the Barbados and Guadeloupe to Grenada Island areas. So keep you informed on that. And we also have our tropical storm Kyle in the far central Atlantic, not showing any signs of landfall impacts at this stage. Here's Kyle.
Thanks, Steve, for that update. Here's a look now at what's going on across the lower 48. Still some showers along and ahead of our frontal boundary. Slow-moving front across the eastern and southern United States, and we're seeing the heavier rain continuing into the mountains of West Virginia, also into southwest Virginia, and then back up to the north, some more showers pushing across the U.S.-Canadian border with high pressure in control. Expect another chilly start to your day on Sunday morning, or actually Monday morning as we head toward Tuesday as well. Some very cool weather across the upper Midwest. But here in the south, the heavy rain continues too for you around Mobile Bay, extending up into southern sections of the state of Alabama. Weather centers coming up after your local forecast on the 8s.
There is a rhythm to life. We sleep at night and wake in the morning. It's this sleep cycle that helps keep us in a healthy balance. But for millions of Americans, sleep doesn't always come easy. Fortunately, there's Ambien. Ambien is a prescription sleep aid that can help you get a full night's sleep. While natural sleep is best, Ambien helps you fall asleep fast, stay asleep longer, and wake rested and refreshed, not groggy the next morning. No wonder Ambien is the #1 prescribed sleep aid in America. Until you know how Ambien will affect you, you shouldn't drive or operate machinery. Side effects may include drowsiness, dizziness, and diarrhea. You shouldn't take it with alcohol. Patients who abuse prescription sleep aids may become dependent. Prescription sleep aids are most often taken for 7 to 10 days as needed. Your doctor will advise you about taking them longer. Take Ambien only when you can devote a full 7 to 8 hours to sleep and wake rested and ready to start your day. Talk to your doctor about Ambien. Ambien works like a dream.
Get back into the rhythm of life. Talk to your doctor about Ambien.
I've had nothing but airline pretzels all day.
Well, relax. I'll make us some chicken and starch.
Condensed soup? Sweetie, now that you have your own place, you deserve to eat like a grown-up. There's a better tasting soup.
Progresso chicken noodle?
All white meat chicken and bigger pieces of vegetables. See the difference?
Mm-hmm. This is way better, Mom.
Imagine that.
Mom.
I'll quit for a minute.
It's time to go to the better taste, the Progresso.